I read your books in secondary school and in high school, long before I ever imagined becoming a writer myself. They shaped how I think, how I listen, and how I understand the power of stories. You are a Kenyan-born writer, but your words traveled far, crossing borders, classrooms, and languages, until they reached me. Through your work, I learned that writing is never just about art. It's about responsibility, about memory, about choosing who gets to speak. So when you insisted on writing in African languages, you gave many of us permission to believe in our own voices. You showed me that stories from home mattered, that they could live on the page, on the stage, and in a song.
So my full name is Ngũgĩ wa Thiong'o. It simply means Ngũgĩ, son of Thiong'o. So my name is Ngũgĩ. But if you ask which Ngũgĩ, because there are many Ngũgĩs, then Ngũgĩ wa Thiong'o, son of Thiong'o. So Thiong'o is my father's name. There's one problem right now in African literature, and that this literature is written largely in European languages. We wrote in English, French, or Portuguese, okay? And that trend continues in the present. So the struggle that there is now also is a struggle for where African writing in African languages is trying to assert itself, yeah. Is that for me is literature written by African people in African languages.
Remember Atlanta, that brief, fleeting moment our worlds touched. You held my hand the way a teacher blesses a student, and you said, "We will talk again." You said you would guide me, tell me stories, help me find my way. I believed there would be time. I believed our next conversation was waiting just beyond the horizon. But that meeting became the first and the last in the body. Yet your leaving did not create emptiness in me. It opened a space where your voice could grow even louder. In this library, your presence is stronger than the day I met you. The empty chair beside me feels full of your presence, your courage, your insistence on language, freedom, and of course, the decolonization of our minds. Every book I touch becomes a doorway you left open.
Oh man, it's just how lucky I felt that we were to get to meet this icon that people talk about a lot in Kenya. We've read his books, but now meeting him in person was just an amazing feeling. And not that alone, but even just getting to speak to him in Yegekoyo was just monumental. I really felt lucky, and shaking his hand, and he was so happy even just for me to use that language to speak with him. It's just a moment that I'll never forget. Ngai mwega we mutagiri waita mwamukeri magogona madwairo Ngai uri mbere tutingihotwo ni thu mwene nyaga twakuhoya ituhoyaga wendani na gitio ina tha nyingĩ cia wendo wa rũrĩrĩ ũiguano wa gĩkũyũ na mũmbi mwene nyaga twakũhoya. He just loved that song, and Twalha and I got to meet him last year here, and we talked, and he said he wanted to hear that song, and I mean, it's just amazing. Now that I'm done with my doctorate, that's part of it, because my research is in performing songs by African composers or African works. So I really want to take Gahi Kadeda up and produce it. Gahi Kadeda is just a powerful work. And even just how much, it's so fun. I originally learned a song from my mom about Gahi Kadeda, why it's saying like, hey, why are people pushing me to get married? If you look at the priests, they don't get married and they're fine. The nun, they're fine. So just leave me alone. The time will come. And it goes like this. So, Gahi Kadeda, vivitane atuire. Gahi Kadeda, moheane atuire. Gahi Kadeda, vivitane atuire. Gahi Kadeda, moheane atuire.
So that song, you learned it from mom?
Yes.
And did she learn it from Ngũgĩ or from the community?
From the community, because Gahi Kadeda, Ngũgĩ Wadhing'o, it's known. It's just a favorite, especially among the Agikuyu community. So whenever they produce Gahi Kadeda in Kenya, it just sells out. So, and people even who don't understand Kikuyu go to watch it. Yeah, so it's just a monumental work.
In 1977-78, for a year, I was put in a maximum security prison in Kenya for writing my first play in Gikuyu language. Okay, that was, and so I was in maximum security prison for a year. And during that year of maximum security, that's when I decided to be writing in my novels and fiction and drama and poetry in Gikuyu language, my mother tongue. And I wrote my first novel in Gikuyu called Devil on the Cross, in Gikuyu, on toilet paper in prison. So I used literature as a way of connecting to the world outside the yeah. So in the same way, when I was now in exile, I used my writing in Gikuyu as a way of connecting to Kenya. Yes. So my mother tongue, Gikuyu, was very, very important for my survival in prison, and it was very, very important for my survival in exile. Every person, whether in Africa or Europe, has a right to their mother tongue or to the language of their culture.
Kutokea kwa ajali ya MV Bukoba lilikuwa ni pigo kubwa kwa kila Mtanzania aliyekuwa na nia ya dhati ya kuleta mabadiliko, ikizingatia mchango mkubwa uliokuwa ukitolewa na watu waliopoteza maisha katika kuliendeleza taifa hili masikini. Watanzania karibu wote waliumia, ila sio zaidi ya huyu mmoja ambaye baada ya kupata habari za kutokea kwa ajali hiyo alihisi kichwa chake ni kizito zaidi ya kile kilichobebeshwa mlima Kilimanjaro. Mtu huyu, kutokana na uzito wa mawazo kichwani mwake, alishindwa hata kufikia suluhisho. Swali ni moja tu alilokuwa akijiuliza: nifanye nini? Aliamua kujifungia chumbani mwake ili kujipa muda zaidi wa kufikiri. Ajabu kila alipojaribu kufikiri nifanye nini tu, ndiyo iliyokuwa ikijipachika kichwani mwake, mithili ya majibu mazuri ya maana aliyokuwa akihitaji. Huyu ni Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Zilikuwa ni siku chache tu baada ya yeye kutawazwa rasmi kama kiongozi wa nchi hii masikini iliyojaa kila aina ya vituko.
Although English language and French are still dominating and Portuguese, but in fact, the tradition of African people writing in their own languages have always been there. You know, South Africa is a case in point. Kiswahili literature in Kenya and East Africa is a case in point. Amharic in Ethiopia is a case in point.